Nelson Mandela Bay Arts Festival kicked off yesterday with a performance by Joliza, a Nelson Mandela Bay Bhaca soul artist. The newly elected Executive Mayor Retief Odendaal and Arts and Culture MMC Bassie Kamana were in attendance as well. Newzroom Afrika's Siphosethu Booi filed this report.
While the residents of Nelson Mandela Bay were in for a treat today, as you know, it is the first of its kind, the inaugural first ever, never seen before, Arts Festival of Nelson Mandela Bay. The Mayor Retief Odendaal was here, the MMC for Sports, Recreation and Arts and Culture, Mr. Bassie Kamana, as well as the opening act of this particular festival today, Joliza, also gave a good performance just to kick off and start things as far as this festival is concerned. It will continue and will go until the 2nd of October. But joining me now is, of course, Leletu Mahambe Hlala, also known as Poetic Soul. Mrs. Leletu, today was an interesting day for the arts fraternity as a whole, the very first arts festival that Nelson Mandela has ever had. Take us through the night today. How did you experience today?
I think today was just filled with excitement, pride, relief that we're not here fighting against government officials, against the municipality, but we're rather celebrating and enjoying the fact that Mandela Bay Arts is being recognized, is being validated, and is being celebrated at home.
Why was it important for you to also, knowing that you will not be a part of the performing act, why was it important for you to come and support the rest of the artists that will be performing at this inaugural festival?
For me, really, it's that if this one succeeds, then there'll be greater opportunities for us all to succeed. So that's why it was important for me to be here, that we ensure that this one is a great success. And it won't be a great success if there are no bums on seats.
The COVID-19 pandemic affected a lot of artists, especially artists in cities like Port Elizabeth. How did it affect you in your line of work?
I think there were positives and there were negatives. There's obviously the business that dwindles. You're not performing as much. You can't host as many shows. But also it opened us up to a new way of doing things. Opened us up to the fact that South Africa belongs to all of us. So where we didn't used to apply for funding and things like that, we were now getting into that space, doing more applications and standing the same opportunities as everybody else to make sure that our art continues to happen. We were now getting down to the business of, creating hybrid events where we could have a live audience but also have an audience online. So that way our art is not only localized but it's also globalized. So we've learned the negatives have affected us. Our accounts have been closed, our policies have lapsed, but hey, we're still here, we're still standing, and we're in recovery mode right now. So there's no need to focus on the negatives anymore, but rather how do we grow from this point on.
The residents of Nelson Mandela Bay, I'm sure, are excited about this festival. What can they expect?
The best of the best. I always say PE artists, because they have so much to work against, they put so much effort into their work because they're not affected a lot by the glitz and the glam and the lights, and they get to focus on keeping their work as authentic as possible. So they must look forward to that. The best in theatre productions, the best in poetry performances, the best in music, and some of the quality exhibitions. Comedy will also be there. So there'll be a lot happening. People will find something for themselves.